Go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, another opportunity for us to realize we're making decisions. I don't know if I actually properly said my title. Did I? I do not think I did. We'll see, probably in 1 second. It's probably going to be a big old blank space. I think I said a title, but I might have spaced. Still waiting for confirmation. We might not even be live right now. We probably are. Right? Probably. Maybe. I'm still having such a hard time with my freaking signal integrity. So you let me know. Is anything happening? It seems. Yeah, no, I did. I did forget to set a title. I knew it. Oh, jeeps. Losing it, yo. Maybe that's something to talk about, if anything, right? Like I am definitely one of those that tries to be on it, tries to be in control. And there are so many things in life that don't really allow you that to say it in so many words. I'm gonna try and control and see if I can get this thing to be better. Is better? Is it better? I don't know. Might be. I'll assume that it is. I feel like maybe that's again another thing to pivot on. Like I think yesterday we had similar kind of problems, and I mean the internet hasn't changed, so it's not really surprising to me that that problem hasn't gone away. But again, that's one of the things that I do not have any control over. All right. What I do, however, have control over, talked about, perfectly accurate title. Yeah, I don't know if it's broken right now on your side, Mojo. It might be. Doggos still want to sit on laps, I guess. That part hasn't changed. You're not covered in mud, are you? Does seem to have some grime in his fur. Oh shit. An under an undetermined stream. Yeah, I forgot again, Sam. And there was like something trying to be on it all the time. And I feel like all of these instances collectively, the internet still being bad and titles being undetermined. Audio and video are rock solid. Nice. That's good to hear, Mojo. I'm super happy to hear that part at the very least. There is, however, this part of us that needs to stay in control of ourselves, right? Specifically, so the way we feel and the way we react to things around us. I have noticed in my personal journey how I have become significantly more at ease, right? And not don't do that. Don't look at me like that, yo. Like not in every way, clearly, right? You just saw me being not at ease anymore. But in so many ways that I used to find myself almost determined to become vocal, right? Like there are still things that cause me discomfort in my environment, but I have grown capable of just simply letting them be, right? I have grown capable of simply holding space for the things that irritate me too. And I feel that's the part of me that I value the most as it relates to what I'm in control of right now. Boop, boop, boops. Boop, boop, boops. I have in this little grandeur something called Girl Scout cookies. Hmm. Yeah. I've never had a Girl Scout cookie. Like the actual Girl Scout cookies. This is not that, but it is still a treat for me. nice to have you friends here with me for this moment. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturday. I hope this day finds you well. I hope you get to decide what you do with your time. And if you don't, I hope you find a way to enjoy it nonetheless. I'm sure you will. Kobe just found himself a stick. And as he's walking with his stick, he finds another stick on his way. And then a bone too. Having options as a doggo must be nice. The air smells like smoke. I do not appreciate it. But I at least know that it's not anything burning down. It's just fire being made. Let me make some heat in this collective system. Again, bringing ourselves back to realizing we are only in control of the way in which we almost like react and extend ourselves into whatever it is the experience is. And I want to get better and better at staying calm, staying at peace, no matter how chaotic my environment becomes. No matter how much Kobe shakes the stick around and makes chewing sounds next to me, I am capable of staying at peace. I do believe this as well. You know, at one point I didn't. At one point I really did believe that I had to be affected, to say it in so many words. Hey, the diddler, cheese. I don't know about that username, yo. But yeah, again, I at one point I thought I had to at least feel something, right? It was impossible for me to not be affected by the discomfort or the potential problems. Let me say it in so many words, in my immediate environment. And as soon as there was this reckoning, specifically as it relates to trying to do something about it, there came a certain level of peace with it. Right, to say it in another way, as soon as I accepted that I couldn't change the things that were disturbing me, I stopped being so disturbed by it. Not undisturbed, admittedly. Hey Zawad, nice having you. Not undisturbed, but less so. Less so, right? Like the total time I spend in the state of being disturbed has drastically been reduced. I find myself a little bit more calm these days, at the very least. Click. Thank you to the Girl Scout cookies. So where do we go from there? The question is, right? Am I only going to get better and better as I continue to age? In other words, as I keep growing up, will it be easier for me to find myself disturbed, perturbed, in a state of discomfort and remain there without feeling the need to necessarily do something about it? You know, when I'm seeing that as this dual-edged sword where it has this capacity, ability to also do bad for my life, to think about it in that kind of, aspect, where if I was just at peace, even with the things that were disturbing me, to the point of non-action, then my life, I don't really think, would end up in a good place necessarily. Right? I'll take no action. I'll have no autonomy. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that there are going to be things in this world that bring me to a state of, I want to say the word powerlessness, right? Again, like you have to be blind and deaf on the internet to not know that we're again, escalating more war scenarios. And it really is this sense of like, bruh, like what can one person do in the middle, on the edge of Africa, about people shooting missiles at one another? It's like there's nothing that I can do. But still, I am aware. Still, I'm aware of the happenings in our world. And I feel like that really is the thing that we want to talk about. Hey, Melita, meow to you. I don't have Melita the Stick on me, but Melita the Stick has made its debut again on stream recently. Kobe just caught a cricket. Shame, he's getting eaten. Today's stream topic, Melita friend, is about the things that we are in control of. The stream is technically untitled, which is something that I technically have control of, and I failed controlling it properly. It is a blessing having you here with me. I hope you're doing well. I have been collecting so many sticks lately. Good. I don't know if you were here for that stream. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday, that I really talked about it, so it might not have been one you joined recently. But there was a moment 2 days ago now where a friend was over and he wanted to make fire, and we didn't have enough sticks to actually get to the point where it could burn the big logs. And then we went out and we collected sticks to burn. And it was cathartic and engaged with the universe, with a kind of rightness. It was fun. Collecting sticks, synchronizing up with you. Does this calmness extend to discussions with your dad about your external damnation? Yeah, actually, Mojo. Recently, I just do not communicate at all. I found myself like I'll talk if spoken to. I'll reply. I'll share maybe like the surface level of what's going on inside my mind, and then I'll like stay quiet again. I'll listen. I've been doing a lot more listening and a lot less speaking. Kobe, please, thank you. Like you chewing sticks was like the volume was okay for me. Bone gnashing with teeth. I said no. You can run away with it if you want to, but no chewing it close to me, please. Not chewing it close to me. Yeah, I. Okay. Sorry. Talking about control, right? The control I have under my stick collection is non-existent. The stick pile is just growing bigger and bigger. Yeah, so coming back to what you asked, Mojam, I'm not sharing any of myself, right? So in that way, there's nothing to judge, if you know what I mean. And in that, I found a certain sense of calmness and peace as well, where I don't engage. Again, I don't engage quite as much. And I like value being engaging and staying engaged, right, when it comes to relationships and the value of conversations. But the person I am in this family, to my family, is at odds with what they believe, right? So being what I'm here to be is at odds with what they are, all right? And it is this weird dichotomy of like, this is not the environment for me to I want to say the word perform, right? Life is a performance after all. And it's almost like in this space, uh, the people already have seen the show and they don't like it. Right. So it's like, they're not going to clap hands, they're going to throw tomatoes at you if you perform your show. So you're like, to not in certain towns, right? You go where you're going to be cheered on. That's kind of like the point of control that I feel I've come to in myself, is that it's way more important to me to control how I react in this moment. Talking about control how I react, one of the cats walking past me with a rat in its mouth. Thank you, cat, for catching them creatures. I do hope it eats it. I don't know if that's more messed up. That to me is better than having the little bodies on your yard. They do that too, unfortunately. I don't know if this thing is still live. The internet hasn't been reliable for me. Like my comments are desynced, for example, with like that device and this one. It's fine. If a comment comes, I'll read it. For now, we can just be here. The cats have been catching a lot of rats recently. Like that, literally the second rat I see caught by cat the last 2 days. And those are just the ones that I actually saw, right? I was in the right time, in the right place to actually cross with them while they had the rat in their mouth. So maybe they are doing a lot more than I know. In moments like that, you realize, the stakes of reality for so many creatures here. Being a cat must be nice, I can imagine. There's not many things coming to hunt you. The cat went around that corner, and I expected it to go outside the gate, but it just stayed around the corner. And I'm like thinking about the dynamics of that cat brain where it just caught itself something and then takes it around a corner where it can be obscured from sight. No one else, no other cat can see it doing what it's doing. Thinking about the competition that happens in their world. Even though they do get food. One of our cats is very fat, right? So there's this whole conversation in the family where we don't know if he's incentivized necessarily to go and catch things. And then we have two like skinny cats who get the exact same amount of access to the food that they have, but skinny by choice. They don't eat a lot. And I've seen them walking around with their kills as well. And the one that just passed us was one of the skinny cats, and I've seen Carlos, the other big one, but not big one, but not one of the skinny ones. He's like one of the bigger males. He's also an avid hunter. Rehan Menon, Hindu. No, not technically. Technically, no. But I do really find the Hindu religion very beautiful and in many ways romantic. And it's very easy for me to romanticize the ideas that they have therein. It's easy for me to romanticize the ones I like. I think that's a better way to say it too. It is one of those things. All right. I do practice yoga and I am a certified yogi. All right. So I'm closer to not, but I don't really identify with any particular religion in and of itself. I have a little bit more openness towards it all. All right. I think all of it have some significance to play in our lives. I'm really having a time. Hey, Chriselle, it's nice having you. Just like observing the vines. There's some there on that ledge as well. Let me turn this around like this. I'm looking at those vines a lot. And I'm thinking about the amount of time it's taken for them to get to where they are. What the wall is eventually going to look like when it's been completely covered. The space has seen a lot of change. Cat is finished with its meal. There she be. In sight again. No mouse anymore. Oh, I forgot a member. Hey, did I prove you about mod or not? Nah, friend. You have to be here every day, right, for at least 1,000 days to qualify for mod status. It's a very, very powerful tool. You can, with this spanner, suddenly just cease someone's existence on the channel. It's pretty significant, you know, to say the least. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. Right, that definitely does count for something. I have to agree, but it's gonna take some time. Take some time, it will. It's nice having you here, nonetheless, dear friends. Okay, 1,000 days only. I thought it was gonna be 1,000,000 days. 1,000,000 days. You know, like I do plan on living for a very long time. But 1,000,000 days is 2,740 years. You know, I'm looking forward to day 1,000,000, but that is going to be 2,736 years from now, 35 years from now. 2,700 years. It's wild how a million of something doesn't sound that much, but if you put it in the scale of days, it's suddenly like, yeah, a million goes a long way. It's wild how many different currencies we have on planet Earth as well, where a million of it in some places means nothing at all. And a million in some places, you know, it's like enough to change your entire life. Being a millionaire, all right, what a fractal that is. It's definitely something we've glorified in our species. Something that was very much glorified here in South Africa. And being a millionaire in South Africa is still a big deal, mostly, right? Not that big a deal anymore, but still mostly a big deal. But being a millionaire here in South Africa means that you have like 1/18th, right? So divide your American $1,000,000 by 18, and that's about as much as it is for us, right? And still, I mean, if you have 1/18 of $1 million, you're still gonna be pretty stoked about that. But it's so interesting to see that dichotomy as well. You know, how if you reach being a millionaire in South Africa, you'll tell yourself that, nah, I need to at least reach being a millionaire in America, right? A US dollar millionaire. Then we're going to be millionaire. Right. And again, to bring it back to today's stream topic being the things that we can control. Those are one of those things that kind of just has us keep setting a new goalpost. Right. There's no escaping that fractal. Hey, would you like to live forever but the old in heavens, or would you like to die young and be young in heaven? And as in other words, like I live for very long and my body gets very old, and then I die, and then I go to heaven as an old person, or I die right now and then I get to be like 27-year-old Melt in heaven. It is a weird question. I think I'd have like the old man fractal, right? Like if heaven can't figure out how to give you good quality of life, then it's not heaven in my mind, right? I would take the long way around. Hey, did you hear about the plane crash in India? I did. 174 people lost their lives, but miraculously one lone survivor was there who came out walking out of the plane like nothing happened. Didn't he jump at the last moment? I believe that he was like sitting close to the emergency door as well. It really is wild. And apparently that just after someone did actually have like a whole whistleblowing moment about that exact plane, and then people lose their lives literally weeks later. I would choose only being 18. Yeah. Hey, leave that alone. Leave that stuff alone. Kobe found the rest of the rat. Don't you dare. You can't come and sit on my lap now either. No, no, getting closer. This is an uncomfortable place right here. He wants to get closer. I can see him. Look, there he is. There he is. No, no. I don't like stinky rat breath. Ooh, cease. I don't smell anything actually, but whew, shit. My niece. This me making a nose sound. Yeah, I'm like so perturbed and stuff. You better not be going back to that rat stuff. You better not. He was like, well, fine. If I can't get attention from you, I'll go and get attention from rat stuff. Don't like. He thinks he's distracting me. I'm not distracted. He went in the door. Good. Dog not allowed to bring snack breath. Not when snack breath is the intestines that the cat left over because they don't eat that part. All right, nay. That's where I draw the line. But then I came to know everyone in heaven is 33, no matter how old you are. But if you die less than 34, you would be the same age as you died. Of course. Of course, that makes perfect sense. That's how it works. Sorry, I'm being weird. Suddenly, one message gets disappeared. It's okay. Love is true. You can only be in control of so much. And how weird you are is definitely one of them. Ah, uh, uh, uh. What do I have in my control? I officially saved up for the first half of the paperwork that I need done in China. So I signed all of that stuff and sent my email through to Pete to let him know that we can proceed. 3,500 RMB is the total. One 725. I can pay it like one half of the installment and then the second half of the installment. And then there was like a whole piece of paperwork that I had to sign. And I like really did scroll over that thing. There was a clause in there that goes, yeah, and in costs, like party A, which is me, is responsible for the travel costs and costs encumbered and right. And I'm like kind of like wishing, kind of like hoping, optimistic Reese, that the actual fees that I'm paying is just him telling me that those fees include these costs. In other words, that's the cost that he's feeing me for. And on the fees side, it has like a flat fee kind of verbiage as well. And I'm going to take flat fee as in this is the fee and it stays flat, ideally. It doesn't go higher than this because that's about, with today's conversion rate, 489 US dollars, right? Which is a fair bit of US dollars. Can you say a quick prayer for me and my family, please? Thanks from the UK. Brett Hudson, saying a prayer for you. I'm not really good at prayers, but what I do like doing, right, is to me, I imagine as prayer being a kind of imagining of a better future reality. And if we pray together, we're almost like trying to manifest that future into being. So, in that mind, I'm imagining you and your family having access to the resources you need, having love for one another in the home, having peace when you're going to sleep, having warmth or air conditioning for whatever climate calls. May you be blessed and may you prosper, friend. Where's your friend, though? My friend, the one that was here just a few days ago, he has continued his adventure. His parents are visiting South Africa from France, and they're going to be in Pretoria for a while, and he went through to go and see them. So what's the topic? Today's topic is the things in our control, Sam. Like the title was in mine, and I didn't say anything. Right? Sometimes you are in control of doing nothing, too. Yeah, that's totally my intention. That's why I did that. I didn't forget me forgetting the title. Never. Intentionally. Of course. Surely. Most for sure. Right? How could I forget? I'm in perfect control. Of course. Always. No make you mistakes. But for reals, that is what we're talking about. Specifically so, the things that disturb us, right? For instance, I am very sound sensitive, as in the environment and the noise floor in it can affect my state of being. In other words, if someone is grinding metal while I'm giving a yoga class, for example, that's very difficult to me. I have a hard time with that. And for the longest time, it was almost impossible for me to continue giving the yoga class with any level of professionalism, rhythm, consistency, good consistency. And at this point in my life, I've gotten a lot better at that, where I can experience the the stimuli in my environment, and I can continue forward and control myself, right, despite it. And then there's the layer that comes afterwards as well, where for a while, right, especially in my first and second year of trying to do this work, there was a lot of pleading, I think is the best word, begging, right, for consideration and for, I think, yeah, consideration is probably the only word, just for mindfulness, right? That when I'm in this space, I am not only the one with ears, but there could be potentially many ears listening into this space right now. And some sounds are more pleasing than others. And if you're going to be listening, I would hope that the sounds that I share with you are going to be some of the good ones. And then there would be, right at that point in my journey, this desperation and trying to get it through to my dad, that I don't expect him to like drop everything just to be mindful. And it didn't help asking at that point in my life, right? There was no control. There was no ability for me to control the environment in that way, right? Asking nice, asking aggressive, asking pleading, asking with desperation. All of those forms of asking begot no control of the environment or the noise floor. However, uh, asking not and staying calm, staying in that state of this too shall pass, is the best way that I found myself to stay in that state of comfort, where I just don't get involved, right? I'd rather stay quiet. If quiet is what I want, quiet's what I'll be. Where's your friend? Yeah, bless again. The things in our control. Oh, all of the zero things in my control. Thanks, man. Yeah, but again, I just gave you a good example, Sam, of what I mean, right? Surely you know what I mean in that story. Your exact triggers might be a little bit different, but there's surely a way for you to relate to that experience of not being able to get the thing you dislike to stop, right? And again, we could just like gesture broadly at the wars going on in our world right now, because that's just another thing that is out of our control. But what is in our control is, again, how we respond to this. How do we as people respond to this? What are we allowing ourselves to think and feel? What's the spiral like? Are you spiraling upwards towards your evolution, or are you spiraling down towards your own destruction? Spiral will spiral. I don't think there's any way out of that. But I do know there needs to be some sort of progress for things to continue. Right? You need to progress for things to continue. There is no continuation if there is no progress. Maybe there could be from the perspective of just waiting for life. Like life continues, but you aren't experiencing progress. But when you break it down into like game mechanics, which I do like to do, progressing is the thing that unlocks the next level or gives you the item you need to do the other thing you want to do. And in that way, I feel like there is a certain truth to that in this world as well. We're definitely playing some sort of game here. Right? It's not exactly a very fun game. Not always. It's not exactly a very predictable one either, which to some is a good thing. But more so than anything, what's important, at least for me, when it comes to playing a game, is that I'm the one in control. All right? That I'm the one at least deciding what happens, so that if I end up in one place or another, I can't blame the machine. Be like, oh, but it auto-played me into that ditch. Wasn't my fault. All right? I would rather be like, oh, I'm in a ditch right now. Surely they programmed some way out of it. Let me keep looking. All right. Take responsibility. You know what I mean? Prairie Wolf, control is an illusion. Is it though? I think parts of control. right? Like the parts of control that is an illusion is the ultimate part. But the parts of control that isn't an illusion is the part of it that is experiential. Kind of like giving a kid a steering wheel in the car with you, right? It's an illusion that you've given them that steering wheel, that they are in control of the car, right? And thank goodness they're not. But experientially, they're still getting something out of that, right? And that is what you had control over as the parent giving them that steering wheel. And that is what they have control over as the child in participation with that illusion, right? There is still a realness, right? A non-illusion aspect to it. We're all entitled to our illusions. However, we're not entitled to impose those illusions on others. It's a good point you make. Imposing our illusions onto others. It is something I believe, Prairie Wolf. And it's interesting how me believing that has this duality to it, where I believe it is, we are not entitled to impose our illusions on others. But there is also this realization that all communication is manipulation in me. And all we ever do is influence each other. And in that way, if we're going to influence each other, manipulate one another, impose our illusions on each other, then we need to make sure we're doing so well. We need to make sure we're doing so in a way that is actually benefiting our species, benefiting our friends and family, making things better, not worse. And it definitely is one of those things that create a certain sense of disconnect. Right? Because some people are so comfortable in their illusions that as soon as they feel themselves introduced to another illusion, right, they'll find themselves resistant. The earth seems so calm. It really does have a gentle rhythm to it until it's not. All right. Talking about illusions as well, Prairie Wolf. Is it an illusion to look out onto nature on a calm day, you know, sun shining, wind not too aggressive, and to feel that sense of like, oh, the earth is a calm place. And then again, right, the next day or whatever, a storm starts and it like kicks up a bunch of wind, topples down some trees, breaks things, right? Like which one is the illusion, right? If you're there in that moment, you will be convinced. You'll be convinced of a certain feeling, of an energy. The background seems even like, you like this? I haven't actually done this background before. It's the first time we're sitting here in this spot, so I'm happy that you're liking it, Prairie Wolf. I don't know if that helps, but I sure hope it does. It's supposed to, technically. Might end up cutting out even. the ambient sounds, though. The things in my control. I spent some time filling up the little bottle of alcohol I use for cleaning things. And like that is something that changed about me since acquiring this little thing as well. Right? I've always tried at the very least to make sure my pipes had airflow. And I just say it in so many words. To make sure their chambers were clear so that air could at least properly flow. But ever since getting this little thing, the amount of meticulousness that I find myself practicing and making sure it stays clean and healthy, I have noticed a certain pattern in myself as well. Right, again, bringing it back to this control thing, that all of us are in control of the universe in that way, but not all of us get to necessarily extract the same joy out of a task. Right, and it's interesting how the inner narrative about why it is you're doing something and what story you're telling yourself, what priorities you set, what importance you assign, ends up being the thing that you experience. And it's like, yeah, we don't have control over what we feel, but if you really break it down, we also do. I sense melancholy in you today. Melancholy? Am I melancholic? I'm not melancholic, but I'm not necessarily feeling bad. I'm just feeling at peace. I'm like, how about this life thing we're having? You know? And thinking about control, especially. There is a certain melancholic, quality to thinking about control and thinking about, hindsight in that way as well. We had a stream about that recently. Introspective? Yeah, definitely. Maybe I think introspective is the right word. And I think it's definitely good. Introspection is a good place for us to be in when we're in this space. Helps us continue to go deeper and deeper down the rabbit holes of mind as they choose to allow themselves to come. Controlling the mind is a whole nother thing. Controlling the mind is one of those things where it's better if you try not to. It's better if you don't, right? If you're playing an instrument or singing or coming into this space in front of an audience, you have to kind of get out of your own way. Allow your mind to be. Look at the world and communicate with friends. Watching one of the cats pass by, watching it step in something, watching it clean its own foot, watching it continue walking. Good morning, thoughts and thinkers and emotion feelers. Good morning, dream to CS. It's nice having you. Hope you're doing well. Hope this world finds you love. Hope you love yourself. Hope it's gonna be a beautiful one for you for the rest of the day too. We're almost close to finishing this stream up, friend. I have been introspecting. I've been informed. I'm definitely feeling in control. That Lozana. What a pleasure having you here, friend. How are you doing? Do let us know. Do send Louisiana Lovin's friends. That mosquito definitely should not get close to me. Better stay out there, mosquitoes. It's nice having you here, Louisiana. We've been talking about the things in our control today, and talking specifically about how things change, how it's always the same amount of not having control over the world, but it's not always the same amount of not having control over ourselves. And as soon as we kind of start leaning into that part of ourselves, as soon as we start seeing that as the objective, the path becomes a little bit easier to walk. I'm feeling some type of way today. Novazana, tell us about it. Tell us about it. We're here for you to listen. I have been very exposed to some of the tragedies of the world, like really rapidly as well. Like it was the Indian plane crash, with was 174 people, and then like smack dab directly after it, the war starting up as well. Another one, and it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence to say it in so many words. And if you feel that way, Lawazana, it is completely understandable. But it's not for me to say how it is you're feeling either. So do let us know if you want to. Words like exposed, worthy world. I'm not exactly sure if this is what you meant to say, but the way I'm interpreting your message is that us being exposed to all of these informations, all of these words, is what will help us build a worthy world. The plane crash sucked, the war sucks, some other world leaders suck. Yeah, there's a lot of sucking going on right now. It really is this acceleration. And at the same time, it's more a connectedness thing, if anything. I think that's really what is happening actually, Louisiana, is we as a species are now really growing interconnected faster and more deeply than ever before. And all of the stuff that's happening in the world does influence us because all of those other consciousnesses that are where they are you, right? By extension of their bodies. Same you that we all are. The I am. Looking down, seeing hands and world in front of it, seeing this moment, seeing big plate of pancakes on a plate, right? I'm eating pancakes in my backyard, so there's that. Some silver linings. I do believe this, and I had this conversation with Martin as well about how if you feel only bad, right, about things being bad in the world, you are adding more of those bad feelings that you're feeling bad about, right? Instead of feeling good feelings, that is adding to the good feelings that are there to be felt good about. You know what I mean? All right. So thank you for finding the good things. Rosanna, hey, you think you're bro? I remember. He remembers too. Obviously, he's been like thinking about those rat parts. He like went, walked all the way around, did some things, came around this way, went like beelined it for that rat stuff, and then as soon as someone like, hey, turns around, goes through the door again. Yeah. Where are your little dogs? The little dog just got a hate prairie away. He was going for the rat stuff. That's all that's on his mind right now. Right. He was on the lap just before he saw the cat. But alas, can't keep them away from this stuff forever. It is time. And it's time for us to see something pretty and then say some goodbye. Do send what's on your mind and your heart in this moment. If there's anything that you're feeling and you want heard, I'm gonna show you a flower. You ready? This is what we were working with yesterday. These little shapy shapies is the thing that really sold it to me. Like little fire techno bunnies. Little hearts in them too. Very pretty. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Two who likes them red. Mojo. Loving them too. Very mandala like. Beautiful. And I feel like it too. Very well. Thank you, friends. All right. Now we'll read the little piece that went alongside it. This one did take a while. Let's see how long it takes to load. Hey, not an eternity. Nice. And bunnies. There we go. That was Anna. Echoing the bunnies too. Yeah. We melt. What's next? The future's whisper. The future's a whisper. A flicker, a flame. It's not far away. It's calling your name. It won't be predicted, won't fit in a frame, but it bends to the ones who show up in the game. Distractions, distractions, they sharpen their claws. Feeds full of fiction, disguised as applause. But here is the stillness. A rhythm remains, a beat that reminds you you're more than their chains. Because fractals are fun, but action's the spice. A loving choice can melt the ice. And if we want more than just to survive, then joy must be chosen and truth must be alive. We live in the now, in this wild, weird swirl where code sharpens culture and memes move the world. But don't lose your center. Don't trade it for noise. You're part of the signal. You are one of the joys. So honor your fraction, for you are the spark, the sun in the chest, the light in the dark. The future unfolds in the steps that we take, and the love that we give, and the risks that we make. So melt what was rigid, let the heart steer. Forward is fluid, and forward is here. The spirit of Mandelbrot is with you, bro. Prairie Wolf. There is a after school video recently that talked about the spirit of Mandelbrot, and the fact that you say that echoes so much loving sentiment in my heart. I even wanted to take like some proper time to make some spirit of Mandelbrot pieces, like where I'm like really using my art in conjunction with that in mind, and probably do some layering. I appreciate the love that you friends share here with me. It really is a blessing. It always is a pleasure finding myself with you. So lovely. Love is true. I appreciate you, beloved and holy friends. It's always a pleasure to share space with your friends again. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope it's a good one. Joe is on the road right now, sharing herself with the world, showing up lovingly. It's nice having you friends here showing up with me. Holy Julia, set be with you. Love is true. Thank you, friends. I appreciate you for showing up here with me again. I'll see you soon, tomorrow. I thank you for being here with me until we do it again. Goodbye for now, friends. Love ya.